what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about differential equation. There is only 3 more topics left, and those 3 topics left is one of them is differential equation. For me, I think this is the easiest one to earn points in. And then we're gonna deal with area and volume. Area and volume is probably the most difficult part because a lot of people cannot think 3-dimensionally. And then I'll have the rule. So pay attention to all the things that we have here. Now, like before, I still have your test. I didn't put in the grade of your kinematic differential equation, kinematic fundamental theorem calculus, rate in and rate out. So that test is very important. That test is worth 36% of your test on AP exam because that's, wait, sorry, I counted wrong. 27% of your test because that's 3-question FRQ. Today we're going to talk about the next one. So the 4th question FRQ, we already go over so far. We probably go over scattered different things for different ideas. Ideally, on your last test, there's one question about finding maximum minimum inflection point. That is one question, one whole question on your test. And most of you guys didn't go back and look at it, which is I give only slightly change. And I don't know what it takes for me to help you because I try to give you almost the same test, except that 4 extra question, it was inverse trick. The other part is all the same. Some of them are even the same questions. So if you guys don't do the homework like you were supposed to be doing, then there's no point of taking this class. And as simple as that. If you don't treat the homework like it's a test, then you're not gonna do well. So I'm gonna start with these questions here, and they are more than enough practice. I know this is like a 12-page worksheet, but you only need to do the first one. The second one is the answers. So the first part of your homework is this part. So I'm only gonna go over this one particular question. The rest of them you need to go over by yourself because the rest of them is talk about your integration technique. Whether you can do your integration technique, that's what's most important things. So get your paper out, and then we're gonna talk about this. Sorry, let me erase all the stuff. Like I say, usually I don't prepare like teaching toward a test, but only in like the 4th quarter. Right now, I'm trying to teach you how to take a test. If you don't pay attention now, then this is the best chance you got to pass the AP exam. Okay, I'm gonna start with the first question because the first question is tricky. I'm gonna talk about that one. So I'm gonna start with the question says dy dx is equal to x minus 3 over y. And the question is y2 is equal to -5. So y to the 2 is equal to -5. Ideally, we've done this before. Now I'm gonna say again, very, 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 very important. There's total 6 points on differential equation. If you don't do the first step correctly, you're gonna lose all 6 points. So the first point is mattered. If you look at a scoring rubric, the first point is called separation of variables. If you don't separation of variable correctly, you're not gonna earn rest of 5 points. Everybody can do this. It's a simple algebra. Just do one step at a time. You will not misunderstand. Now, another thing is I want to tell you is they don't have to write dy dx. Okay? This can be replaced for a couple different terms, and you're going to write down dy dx. So you want to make sure you write down dy dx. If it show up like this, they can show up as y prime. They can show up as a f prime of x. They can even show up as the slope, because slope are derivative. So if they show up any of those 3, you need to convert back to dy dx. Always change back to dy dx. That's the first thing that you really need to know, is make sure if you see any of those 3 things, you look at the second question, right? You see y prime. Do you see that? That's dy dx. right? If you see question 9, they say slope is equal to 2x over y squared. That's dy dx. Now I don't have it this one that says show up as f prime, but it can show up as f prime. So if we show up any of those things, y prime, f prime x, slope, write it in terms of dy dx. So make sure you write it in terms of this way. Make sure you go back to dy dx. Now the next step is called separation of variable. Dy dx is equal to x minus 3 over y. What do I mean by separation of variable? Make sure that dx and dy are numerator, and make sure y and dy's come together, x and dx comes together. So dy and y together, right? But dy and dx has to be on numerator though. Dx and x has to be together. But make sure this too is on numerator. I don't know how to give you more clear instruction. This one cannot be on denominator. If it's something over dy, then that's not good. It has to be this way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get dx on numerator. Dx is right now is on denominator, so the only way to get on numerator is multiply dx on both sides. Does that make sense? Now dx is on numerator. Everybody follow me? Now how do I get y and dy together? Multiply by y, right? It's really easy. If you do that, you're gonna earn first point. You don't even need to know how to take calculus. You're just doing separation of y and dy, but the dy dx has to be on numerator, it cannot be on denominator. I seen people write on denominator, that's bad. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna integrate both sides. So I'm gonna integrate this side and then integrate this side. So this becomes this. If you integrate the y, it's gonna give you y squared over 2. If you integrate the x minus 3, that's x squared over 2 minus 3x. Am I missing something? If you don't have plus c, then you screw. If you integrate something, you have plus c. If you take the derivative, you don't have plus c. The c just goes away if you take a derivative. Now, after that, I'm going to get y by itself. Find a way to get y by itself. So you want to solve for y, right? Solve for y. What do you have to do in order to solve for y? I need to get rid of the 2 on the bottom. How do I get rid of 2 on the bottom? Multiply by 2. It's really easy. So that's y squared, x squared minus 6x. Now, here's the part. When c multiplied by 2 is still c. Kind of hard to comprehend that. Because c doesn't matter until the initial conditions plug in. Right now, we didn't plug in initial condition. What is the initial condition? Initial condition is this. I haven't plugged in yet, so the c doesn't matter. C only matter after you plug in, so I'm just going to go ahead and figure out what y is. Am I going too fast? How do I get y by itself? Square root. But in this particular case, if you square root both sides, always plus minus. This is a basic algebra. A lot of people don't remember that. Not square both sides, square root both sides. If you square root both sides, and not cube root both sides either. Only in square root. So that's going to give you y equal to plus minus square root of x squared minus 6x plus c. Now we have the c already. Your final goal is to make sure to evaluate for c. We already know how to do that because we've done it before so many times. Except this question is a little bit plot twist. So I'm going to plug in y is a -5. And I plug in 2 is this. 2 squared minus 6 times 2 plus c. Any questions here? Now here's the confusing part. This is one out of blue moon. You have these questions that you have plus minus situations. In this case, since your initial condition of output is -5, I cannot choose the positive route. I have to choose the negative route. So I have to choose this route because if I choose a positive route, I'm going to get positive value. I'm not going to get negative value. So in this particular case, I'm going to choose the negative route. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to say -5 equal to negative 4 minus 12 plus c. And I'm going to choose the negative route. Sorry, forgot about that. I'm going to get c by itself, so I'm going to square both sides. So once I square both sides, I'm going to get 25 is equal to negative 8 plus c. C is equal to 33. Then I'm going to plug it back in. I'm going to say y is equal to negative version of x squared minus 6x plus 33. That's my y. This is my initial conditions. Now, most of you guys, you just need to work on your integration technique. A lot of them deal with the integration technique. You have to be able to figure out. The answer is on the second page. So if you did it, the answer is on the second page. And this is how you get 1. On AP exam, this is worth 6 points right here. But the first point, if you don't do this step, I'm going to say that again. If you don't do this step, rest of the point do not get it right. Make sure dx and dy on the top. Sometimes y could be on the bottom, because imagine that if you have y here rather than y on the bottom, then you divide by both sides by y. Then you get dy over y. That's a situation that we're going to deal with tomorrow. But basically, you want to make sure y and dy together, x and dx together, but make sure dx and dy is on numerator, not on denominator. If you denominator, that's not correct. Rest of the point, you lost. This is the easiest path to earn 6 points on the exam. You only need a 42 to get a 3. Everybody can do this. But then you have to learn how to take integrations. Some are easy, some are hard, some are a little bit harder than the other one. So you need to make sure all your integration technique is perfectly sound. So this is the work for this one. What you're going to do is you're going to treat all your homework. It's not a lot of homework. 14 questions. You're going to treat like this 14 questions is like a damn test that you have to do well on. And you have to verify your answer. You have to figure out which part you did wrong. I cannot teach you how to be better at math. I can only tell you says you have to do this. You have to treat it, the homework, like a test. Some people will tell me says, when it's test time, I forget everything. Now, if Ava says, when I go to start a basketball game, I forget how to play basketball. That won't be good. That won't be pretty. Unless you're LeBron James says, I'm hurt.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like LeBron James.
I don't like LeBron either.
You like LeBron? You don't like?
No.
Okay, good. You're a Jordan fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We're on the same team. Like Jordan's first, Kobe's second, and LeBron's third. And then third is even debatable. I probably pick Curry before LeBron.
I like Curry.
Yeah. All right. So, any question? Start with second question. Make sure you do it right. Treat it like it's a test. The answers on the second page. Make sure you verify. All the questions here are a little bit twist between different questions. So you have to figure out what are the plot twists on each questions. Especially question 6 is a little bit more challenging. Try yourself first, and then try as much as you can, and then check with other person. Say, hey, how did I get there? No, it just dy has to be on the numerator. Y could be on the bottom. In this case, it might not be on the top, but dy and dx has to be on the top.
But like, do y and dy have to be on the same side? No, right?
Y and dy has to be on the same side, but it can be below. Y can be below, or square root y could be below. It could be like that. So make sure that y and dy is on the same side, but y could be on the bottom now, right? But the dy has to be on the top. The answer is on the following page. Go check, see what they get, and what you get. We'll help each other see how to get the right answers. Laura, did you get the right answer? Good. Next question. Luke, did you get the right answer? Make sure Amira and Aria knows what they're doing. Do you guys got a right answer, Aria? Mara? Okay. Okay. Matthew, did you get right answer? Michaela, you got it? Oh no. Okay. Peter, can you help out Ava and Leah out? Amber, did you get right answer? Do you know how to get it right? That's it.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. Okay, so yeah, so what? And then after taking that, the integral is so why is this should be understood 1/2? Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Then that would make this equal to 1 over this. No, it depends on what the other side is. Okay, so it'd be 2y through 1 squared. Right? 2 times y plus 1. That's funny. The big one. Yeah, so don't you add 1 and then put it over? Oh, yes, sure. Okay, now let me try that. That's what equals 2x. 2x squared. Oh, so then it would divide. So,
How much time we have? Did everybody finish the second question correctly or no? Amara, yeah. Got it right? Okay, Matthew, got it right? Okay, go to the third question. Third question is a little bit harder.
if you have y to the power x right here, what would I do actually? Wait, we don't square the inverse, like inverse. It is? Oh no, I can. So the your root. Oh.
I'm gonna go ahead and do the second one. So instead of y prime, I'm gonna say dy dx is equal to 2x square root y. So dy equal to 2x square root y dx. And then I'm gonna divide it to the other side, so it'll be square root y equal to 2x dx. Now what I'm gonna do is, if you guys already finished this, great. If you didn't, so integration of this, that means a power rule. So y to the negative 1/2 dy equal to 2x dx. So that's equal to y to the 1/2 2 is equal to x squared plus c. Now I'm going to divide it by 2. So it'll be x squared plus c divided by 2. And I'm going to square both sides, so that's going to be x squared plus c over 2 squared. Now I'm going to figure out what the initial condition is. So it's 25 and 2. So 25 is equal to 2 square plus c over 2 square. Square root both sides is going to give you 5 equal to 4 plus c over 2. Oh, this is 4. Wait, something's wrong. It's 2. So that's 10 equal to 4 plus c. C is equal to 6. Yeah, it is 3 if you divide it out. So that's going to be x squared plus 6 over 2 squared. Or x squared over 2 plus 3 squared. They're the same thing.
What? For the third one, I don't understand. Actually,
4y. Okay, integration. What's integration 4y squared?
I did it wrong. Never mind.
Actually, it's actually dy over 4y squared.
Yeah, I just took when I brought it up to the top, I just added.
You guys making a very careless mistake. It's gonna cost you a lot of points. I want you to finish now. Where are you going next?
I have an essay in Florida.
That's okay. Parm. Go talk. Go talk. Go talk to Palm first. Go talk to Palm first. See if it's okay, then you can stay at lunch, finish your lunch stuff. Austin, what are you doing? Huh? You finish? Yeah. Level 4
My dad works for them, so they were gonna give him a free hoodie, and he got it. Yeah. No.
Raj's not here again. What an ass. What? It's worse and worse and worse and worse. Huh?
No, we did. Yeah, it's okay. Bro. I made a calculation.
Somewhere there.
No, I don't want to say that. I'm gonna try and do something.
Something about creating.
They are Indian.
Yeah.
Seminole High School. Seminole High School. It's all Indian. Veda had to announce a word, and it's all Indian name. And even Veda says this is too much.
Oh, it's algebra.
Algebra, I put a team last second. I put my son into the team. And he's not even like taking algebra. Oh, he's taking virtual school. That doesn't really count. He's like, Dad, what is log? No, I have to eat and pick him up in the morning. Because I came and pick him up in the morning. All right, we got a lot of stuff to do, so we're gonna get going. All right. Oh. Whose book is that? Did somebody get you a medal?
Yeah.
Thank you, Edison. All right, so but we're gonna start by the whoever did help out during the weekend for the mass comp. It was actually come out smoothly because all you guys help out. And those of you guys had to worry about competition and helping out, so that so it's a very stressful weekend, but nonetheless, that we have it done. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in to finish certain things. Also Kushif and Elise and Anderson and Beta, we're gonna bring a trophy to Mr. Cooper. No, later after class. It's okay. No, don't go now. No, we should not.
That was surprising.
No.
The last thing you would expect is
Okay, let me finish it.
Mr. Cooper would love me.
No, we got shit to cover.
Yeah, no, he would absolutely get frustrated.
He will be very upset. Okay, we end the here. We have to talk about, guys. You should know following series. You should know geometric series. So far, you should telescope. What's A over 1 minus R? Okay, telescope is two fractions, subtract the other one. Usually they will end up canceling out. You maybe have to decompose. Um, the next thing that we have learned is n-term divergent test. This test to tell you if the function is divergent does not tell you if the test is converged or not. So this only divergent test does not tell you converge. So basically, if limit n approach infinity of a to the n is equal to a number, so equal to a, so for example c here, if it's a c not or is not equal to 0, so let's say not equal to 0, then it's diverge, right? If it's equal to 0 doesn't mean it's diverge, but that's that. So 1, 2, 3, and we have talked about p series, which is my favorite one. I think most of everybody's favorite one, because if 1 over n to p, if p is greater than 1, is diverge, right? P greater than 1 is converge, sorry. Converge, and the p is uh, equal to 1 or between 0, so it's going to be diverge.
Well, really, yeah.
Am I going crazy?
I don't know what I was about to say.
Okay. And then, what's the next one? Integral test. But integral test must have be continuous. 2, it must be positive. And third, it must be what? Decreasing. So you must prove decreasing as well. And there's a couple ways to prove decreasing, right? What is the first way? Take a derivative and number line, right? Derivative and number line. And the B is, or you can plug in n plus 1. Compare the term with n plus 1. So compare n plus 1 term. And if you come out nicely, then it will be fun. Which is, if you come out like a true statement, one thing is less than the other one, then that's going to be fun. So I'm going to give you a couple series to try out. So first of all, I'm going to give you a series set n equal to 1, infinity n to the negative pi. Can you tell me if this series converge or diverge? Okay, second one, n equal to 1, infinity e to the 1 over n over n squared. So is this one converge and diverge? And either 1 over n squared. You have to figure out which kind of test you gotta do. I cannot tell you which one is which one. You're looking for converge or diverge? Yes. Most of the time, it's you feel like it's a true and false question. It's converge or diverge, but you have to show me the work in order for me to give a point. You cannot just say, "Oh, this is diverge because I feel like it." That's 50% of the time you get it right. No, I won't give you zero. I will give you 0 credit. You have to tell me why that diverge and why that converge, and you have to use appropriate test. I know a lot of people just say, "Oh yeah, diverge." I don't know why it's diverge, but I feel like it's diverge.
Hold on.
Why is Jing not here?